It's May 22nd, 2025. Somehow last night I was convinced that it was May 23rd today. I don't know how that happened, but we're going to go ahead and go over the trapezoid of importance, which just for today, I'm just going to hold it up for a few seconds. As you can see, trapezoid of importance. One really cool thing is I believe I've gotten a lot better at drawing giraffes over the last 24 hours. I've been practicing drawing. I'm going to do another video on this later today or tomorrow. But I actually started drawing after I got made to do for an assignment for college, for graduate school, actually, to make AI art. But we're going to start in the Supreme Court of the United States ruling that you cannot have a religious charter school because it receives taxpayer funds, so that would be a violation of the separation of church and state. So therefore, the charter school that was going to be religious in Oklahoma has been defeated by the Supreme Court of the United States, saying that it is unconstitutional. You can still have a religious school as long as it's privately funded by private donations, tuition, donations from, like, potentially the Catholic diocese or things like that. Which is totally okay. You can have the Jewish school, the Catholic school. If you want to have that type of education for your specific group, I'm totally okay with it as long as you don't take taxpayer funding for it. The House passed the big, beautiful bill by a score of 215 to 214. Jerry Connolly's death yesterday likely made that possible, because I can almost guarantee that he would have voted no on that as a Democrat from Virginia. Just over the past 4 months, House Democrats have lost 3 members to death, so I do believe that is affecting how the House is functioning, simply because it's down a couple of members. The same thing would be true if they were Republicans who had died. It would affect how the House is functioning and what bills would pass or didn't. I do believe that we need to have a better system of replacing those persons who are in the House and Senate should they die or resign or anything. But I understand that it does need to be democratic, and it takes some time to do that. The United States Senate is considering voting to repeal the California automotive emissions standards. And that's basically California has its own special emission standards rules that are stricter than the rest of the country. Most vehicles meet those standards, but some of them don't, which, to be honest, most companies wouldn't lower the standards on emissions because that would require, like, figuring things out and doing different things. And if they're already making vehicles and selling them, there's going to be no change. But I could see a few American companies potentially taking advantage of this. Foreign vehicles won't. Foreign vehicles pretty much all have to meet stricter emission standards because of the emission standards in those countries. Over in Major League Baseball, a couple of important things happened. In the Mariners game, they beat the White Sox by a score of 6-5, allowing more than 1 run for the first time in 5 games. So they had 1 run against them scored in each of the last 5 games, which had set a Major League record for most consecutive games, scoring 1 or having the opposing team score 1 or fewer runs. The Rockies were defeated by the Phillies by a score of 9-5. To take the Rockies to a record of 8-41, which was really unfortunate. I believe that's the worst or second worst record through 49 games in Major League Baseball history. And then Juan Soto struck out 3 times in the Mets' 5-1 win over the Red Sox, in what many people are asking if Juan Soto even cares about baseball or wants to play baseball. He also at one point refused to swing the bat during an at-bat, and another point, didn't really run. Lots of stuff to talk about there. That's been your Trapezoid of Importance for May 22nd, 2025. I am considering building a bunch of these into, like, a book and selling it, or maybe even making some motivational trapezoids and selling them.